Hey, welcome everybody to the Puck Drops. Here, of course, we have the Puck Drops here. YouTube video, great GPAs. Sorry guys, I was just fixing something for the video. This is on the Columbus Blue Jackets. So everybody in Ohio, you want to take a look at this one. This is gonna be really good. As I said, we did do grades looking at the GPA instead of A in letters, so it'll be between 0.0 to 4.0 on the teams that play, of course, in the National Hockey League. So we're doing the Columbus Blue Jackets, and what a season they had. They were fifth in their division, a second wild card team, but they won 47 games, lost 31 of them, had 4 games that went to overtime, 98 points, less points than last year, but they ended up going to the first round, playing the Tampa Bay Lightning, and as we know, they swept the President's Trophy champs, which was an incredible influx. Nobody expected that. And then they had a 6-game series in the second round against the Boston Bruins. This is a franchise that has never been to the second round until this season. Their best chance was last year when they won their first 2 games against the Capitals before the Capitals stormed back with 2 overtime winners to take the next 4. But the different Columbus team. Now, it'll be very different next year as well because three players are immediate free agents that all three believe they are going to be testing the market, and are Timmy Panarin, Matt Duchene, and Sergei Bobrovsky. They also do only have two picks in this draft, the third rounder and the fifth rounder. So there's a lot of stuff that the organizational landing and organization of the Columbus Blue Jackets is definitely going to have to look down and soul search with general manager Jarmo Kekalainen and president of hockey and business operations John Davidson. But it'll be a good challenge. We look at the forwards. We'll look at the center Brandon Dubinsky, the former Ranger, the Alaskan. Played 61 games this regular season. He scored 6 goals, tallied 8 assists, and 14 points. For him, he had a shorthanded point, which was a shorthanded assist. For Dubinsky, a 33-year-old, had a decent year. He's an older guy. He's not supposed to be a scorer. Decent year for Dubinsky, and he was a really good face-off man as well. 20-year-old Pierre-Luc Dubois in his second season in the National Hockey League. He played every single game this regular season. He scored 27 goals. He got 34 assists, tallying 61 points. What a season for Luc Dubois. "73 games played for Matt Duchene along the Ottawa Senators and the Columbus Blue Jackets. He comes in a big trade deadline blockbuster. He scores 31 goals throughout this year, 39 assists and 70 points, including 5 goals and 5 assists, 10 points throughout this playoff year. So he has had another awesome season, has Duchene. Ryan Zingle, one of his teammates from Ottawa, who gets dealt to the Columbus Blue Jackets. He played 78 games this regular season, scored 26 goals, 30 assists, and 56 points. And Zingle had another great year in this regular season for the Columbus Blue Jackets, as well, being taken from the debacle that was had in Ottawa. Boone Jenner, the 25-year-old young center who's a fast guy they really like, he played 77 games this regular season, scoring 16 goals, tallying 22 assists and 38 points. Decent amount for Jenner, not as large, but decent amount. Riley Nash, Riley Nash, the 30-year-old forward, former Bruin, he plays 78 games, scores 3 goals, 9 assists, and 12 points. A great player. A good player for Riley Nash was a decent year. He's hampered by injuries though. And Lukas Shedak, a 26-year-old center, he's played 47 games, scoring 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points. Decent enough for Sedlak, but Sedlak is not told to do that much in this system yet, but he did play well throughout. Alexander Wenberg, another fast, small center. They have 24-year-olds, played 75 games, scored 2 goals, 23 assists, and 25 points. What a year for Wenberg as well. I would give the final GPA for this. I would give a final GPA for the center at 2.6. They're really good center depth. There's some of these younger guys don't have the point totals that they need to, but if you look at a guy like a Luc Dubois and a Duchesne, you want to keep Duchesne, but the center depth was there and the center scoring point group was there as well at a high level, which it needed to be. Look at wingers now. Josh Anderson, a 25-year-older, he had 3 points in the playoffs and 47 points in the regular season, scoring 27 goals, 20 assists. A wonderful year for Josh Anderson. He's a really fast, skilled player that they're starting to really like down there in Columbus, and he's got so much skill and potential. And 29-year-old Cam Atkinson, who's just entered his prime, he was a good player. He's been a good player for the last few years with Columbus after being drafted in 2008. But Cam Atkinson finally got from a decent player to a budding young star, to a good player, to a great player. He's now become the elite scorer they knew that they needed. He scored 8 points in the postseason, played in every game except for 2 in the regular season. He scored 41 goals, 28 assists for 69 points, the definitive score that they needed, and he was a goal away from breaking Rick Nash's goal total match. He matched him this year. What an absolutely insanely amazing season Atkinson had. And another young winger, the Dane, 24-year-old Oliver Bjorkstrand. He played 77 games in the regular season, scored 23 goals, 13 assists, and 36 points for Bjorky. So just a great year for him. 36 points is not as big as it could have been, but he still played very well. A fast speed, and that's what Columbus has really been jostling Tortorella and Jarmo Kekalainen, wanting speed, and they have speed on their wings and on their offense. Their captain, Nick Foligno, the former Senator, he's been the heart and soul of this Columbus Blue Jacket team, and he played 73 games this regular season. He scored 17 goals, 18 assists, 35 points. So really good year for the Buffaloan. 44 penalty minutes, 2 power play goals, and 2 game-winning goals. Nick Foligno has always been the leader that they needed to have and always been the guy that backs it up on the ice. Marcus Hannakainen, 26-year-old winger for Columbus, played 44 games, so it was 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. He didn't play much, but Hakkarainen was able to make the most of the opportunities, and that's obviously good if you're a playoff contender. Just try to get past the second round next year if you can. Artemi Panarin, the 27-year-old winger undrafted, who went to the Chicago Blackhawks, got traded in the Saad deal, comes to Columbus. He may or may not come back. Most people think he won't come back, but what a year he had. The playoffs, he had 11 points, the point leader in Columbus, and he plays 79 games in the regular season, scoring 20 goals, 59 assists, 87 points. The big point leader. What a year for Artemi Panarin. And just an incredible player. He's one of the most skilled and athletic players in the National Hockey League. He's got such a wonderful shot, and he's such a speedy guy. And that's what, as I've said, that's what Jarmo Kekalainen has really worked on with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Speed, speed, speed. And Artemi Panarin exemplifies that in all full examples. Eric Robinson, 23-year-old, played in 13 games this year. He had no points, the rookie, but he's obviously a work in progress, and you can get better. For wingers, I put them at a 3.0. I think they had some really great years with Atkinson and Panarin, but does Panarin stay? It's not so much the work output, but who will stay. But I think the wingers have so much potential and so much speed and skill for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and it's a great franchise to build around, definitely. They finally come into in this way. Adam Clendening, 26-year-old defenseman, we're talking about now, defenseman. The 26-year-old defenseman from Niagara Falls, New York, played 4 games this regular season. He had no points, but a plus of 1 penalty minutes. He played 7 games in the playoffs over this year, and he got 1 point and assist. So obviously, Clendening, a defensive defenseman, played his way through. Vladislav Gavrikov was one of the few young players, 23-year-old rookie from Russia, that came through with the Columbus Blue Jackets and only played games in the playoffs. He played 2 playoff games, but no points. A -2, but obviously you can't judge from a player who's only played 2 hockey games. Scott Harrington, the 26-year-old defenseman, he played 73 games in the regular season. He scored 2 goals, 15 assists, 17 points throughout the regular season, scoring 4 assists and 4 points in the postseason this year. This year for Harrington. And the leader of the defense, Seth Jones, who had 2 game-winning goals in the playoffs. 1 game-winning goal in the playoffs, excuse me, not 2. But 10 games played, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points in the postseason. 75 games played throughout the regular season. 9 goals, 37 assists, and 46 full points. Just want to alert you guys that the San Jose Sharks hockey game has just is just about to resume. They've got like 2 minutes left, and they're about to resume the second period. It's 1-0 Blues, if any of you don't know, for that game. Dean Kukan, the 25-year-old Czech, he played 25 games this regular season. He's got 5 assists, 5 points, a goal in the playoffs, playing all 10 games for Dean Kukan. Decent defenseman, but he's supposed to be a puck mover, and he'll only grow, but he's going to have to grow quickly. Adam McQuaid, the former Ranger and Bruin, he gets pulled through, the third guy in the trade deadline, along with Single and Duchesne. He played in 50 games this regular season, scoring 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points, but he didn't play a game all playoff, including against his former team that drafted him in the Boston Bruins. For a guy that has regressed as an offensive defenseman, he had a really good offensive output. 25-year-old Ryan Murray, who's probably the highest rated Columbus Blue Jacket defenseman. He played 56 games this regular season. He scored a goal and 28 assists, 29 points. That's a really good amount of point totals. But the fact that he only got 1 goal is going to have to up it coming into this next year. Marcus Nudivara, a 24-year-old defenseman, played 80 games in the regular season. No points in the playoffs, but 5 goals and 16 assists, 21 points in the regular season. A plus of 3 throughout the regular season for Nudivara. He's a nice puck-moving defenseman they really like there. Andrew Peak, there's a 21-year-old rookie from Florida. He made the roster, but he did not play any game this regular season. David Savard, the Quebec native, another big-time defenseman. He played every single game this regular season, scoring 8 goals, 16 assists, and 24 points for Savard, which is a good amount for the quarterback of their defense. And Zach Werenski, their other top-rated 21-year-old only young defenseman, played every single game in the regular season, 11 goals, 33 assists, 44 points. A good year for the Blue Jackets. Defensively, though, I put them at 1.9. They're close with the defense, but the numbers offensively in an offensive league are not to the level that it must be at this point if you play in the National Hockey League. Goaltending, there are 4 goaltenders on the roster, the most in the National Hockey League. Just going to alert you guys that the Sharks game has resumed. I will alert you on alerts on that. You look at goaltending again. You have 4. Who have 4 goalies, as I had said before. Excuse me. Let's make sure. Elvis Merzlikina to look at first, the 25-year-old rookie. He has potential to be a good goalie in this National Hockey League, but he did not play at all on Sergei Bobrovsky, the 30-year-old big-time goaltender, the star. He played 62 games. He was a guy that might go to free agency. No one really knows, but he started 61 of those 62 games. He won 37 of the contests, 24 in the regular season. He was 6-4 in the postseason, playing and starting every game and winning all 4 of those games against the red-hot Tampa Bay Lightning. He had a goalie average of 2.46 and .919 in the regular season. In the regular season, he had a 2.58 and a .913 in the regular season. In the postseason this year, he had a 2.41 and a save percentage of .925. Great regular season, great postseason for Bobrovsky, who has had a mantra. Well, not a mantra, but he's had a record of playing subpar in the postseason. Did not this year, though, which was great. Keith Kincaid, the backup, the third-line backup who was traded and acquired from the New Jersey Devils at the trade deadline. 29-year-old who played 41 games this season and started 38 of those games, 15 and 18 this regular season. Most of those with the New Jersey Devils, 6 of those going to overtime. A goalie average of 3.36 and a save percentage of .891, but he was not asked to be the guy. And then the backup to Sergei Bobrovsky, the Finn from Pori, Joonas Korpisalo, and he played 27 games, starting 21 of them, 10-7, 3 games that went into overtime, a 2.95 goalie average, a .897 save percentage, a decent year. He's looking to be one of those guys that is going to be the future of the franchise for Columbus. I would give the GPA for the Columbus Blue Jackets a 3.1. I think most of their goaltending was just amazing. The regular season, but especially the postseason. The way Bobrovsky played, he needed to play to an excellent all-star level, and he did so. And I really appreciate that, even though I'm not a Columbus Blue Jacket fan myself. You look at the coaching, and of course, you look at you look at the coaching staff for the Columbus Blue Jackets. John Tortorella, the former Tampa Bay Lightning, New York Ranger, and Vancouver Canucks coach. John Tortorella, the strict defensive play of the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's gotten them to come through and play, and a declining power play, bringing in one of his favorite players he's ever had, and the former Ranger and Tampa Bay Lightning player Marty St. Louis, as a power play coach. The power play came up, the defensive came up, the unit came up. They played better as a team. A 6-game series in the second round with the Boston Bruins and a sweep of the best team in the league, of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Absolute stellar coaching. I know they lost in the second round, but because of the run and because of the way he coached, 4.0 for John Tortorella. What a great job he did coaching for this Columbus Blue Jacket team. And general management, Jarmo Kekalainen, who is under so much pressure to trade Artemi Panarin to Sergei Bobrovsky. Yes, most of those guys will leave, but he decides to keep them there. He decides to use the chips he has, trade picks, and go get a stable defenseman and Adam McQuaid, going and grabbing Duchesne and Zingle from the Ottawa Senators and making what a great playoff run it was. A magical time for them. And Jarmo Kekalainen in a similar situation that David Poile was at when he lost Ryan Suter to the Minnesota Wild, and he let the Alexander Radulov go to Russia, but he still showed as a great general manager, as a risk taker. Jarmo Kekalainen, the first and only European general manager in this NHL, National Hockey League. But Jarmo Kekalainen did a wonderful job, and I think that he's a 4.0 too. I really think he did a great job with the assets he had, and an incredible year for the Columbus Blue Jackets. My final GPA for the Columbus Blue Jackets is a 3.5 because they were supposed to automatically make the playoffs, but they had an issue making the playoffs in the first place. And to get there, to deal with all of the media garbage they were dealing with, to trade their players, reacquire their players, get guys like Duchesne and Zingle, and sweep the number one team, a 62-win team. First time that had happened in 20 seasons, a 128-point team, and beat them in their home ice and sweep them. Absolutely stellar and incredible. So I give them a 3.5. They weren't able to go past the second round, but they put up a total fight for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And I just want to alert you, in San Jose, Vince Dunn, I believe, has just scored for the St. Louis Blues. It's 2-0 St. Louis in the SAP Center with 15:50 to go in the second period in San Jose. So I hope you liked this video. I really had a great job. I really had a good time and good job doing this one. Next one we're going to do, I know these are a little late because I just wasn't able to because of study time, will be the Dallas Stars. We'll talk all about them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. So like, sub, view, and happy hockey, and good night.